that all of a sudden now you're getting into subtypes of bladder cancer where you can start predicting which is the treatment that they might respond better to. So luminal, which is now divided into luminal papillary, luminal infiltrated, and luminal. So luminal papillary and luminal do not respond very well to neoadjuvant chemotherapy, and luminal infiltrated doesn't respond very well to neoadjuvant chemotherapy, but luminal infiltrated respond quite well to the immune checkpoint inhibitors based on some of the work that was presented by Jonathan Rosenberg. Similarly, basal squamous do quite well with neoadjuvant chemotherapy, with platinum-based neoadjuvant chemotherapy, but luminal papillary are quite resistant to platinum-based treatment. So all of a sudden, what we used to see as a vision for future, we are seeing it on our doorsteps. And that's why it is important that as international colleagues, we all work together to see the differences. It was 35% luminal papillary, 19% luminal infiltrated, 6% luminal, 35% basal squamous, and 5% neuronal. And neuronal is the one that responds poorly to any treatment, more like neuroendocrine features. So again, by sort of multi-platform testing, we are starting to get these sort of results and these sort of answers as well. And that is where really we can move forward to, where we can make those drugs much more effective and much more cost effective if you can select the patient groups where you can actually get a much higher long-term durability of response based on some of these subtypes. And I think this is my last slide, so I will just say that that's the key thing, that the reason we have moved so much forward is because this variability among individuals really need to be focusing on learning from it, learning from different patient population groups, looking at differences between Caucasians, Asian, and other patient population groups, looking at the differences in responses with different drugs, and moving forward from there. So I think that's where I will stop, and thank you very much for all your attention. And again, thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hussain. I have a question because you are one of the NICE expert panel members. As you reported in your lecture that the NICE has approved atezolizumab for the second-line MUC usage. But based on the current evidence, pembrolizumab had solid evidence in the second line, but however, it was not approved by the NICE. Can you explain more about this? Makes us feel more confusing, especially in the last session. Ipi-nivo combination was approved for the first-line MRCC by US FDA, and then EMA seemed to reject for the Ipi-nivo combination for the RCC first line. So,
I think it is. I agree with you completely. It's very confusing at times. I think the way NICE looks at it is that it looks at the cost that the drug is being provided with. So what they define is quality of life here that patient gains by having this drug. So they look at the effectiveness of that drug and also look at the toxicity and the quality of life. And then what's the cost of that drug is divided by what's the quality of life achievements in terms of improvement in survival, in terms of months or the number of months. That is all taken into equation, but a very key factor is the cost of the drug as well. And I think where NICE approved atezolizumab in second-line setting, and it is now available on NHS, pembrolizumab is available through Cancer Drug Fund. And Cancer Drug Fund, so the drug is accessible to patients. And I think from the industry point of view, they themselves delayed, they thought that there will be some more data that will give them more weightage, and perhaps they might, the cost of the drug is something that's a very confidential discussion that takes place between the industry and the NICE committee, and then they sort of, they can recalculate that, and if it becomes less than 50K per year, then it can become available through, that is they have put a ceiling. I do not say that it is right or wrong. I myself always try to get the best drugs, novel drugs for our patients available. But they have put a ceiling, which is understandable. There is limited resources that we have, and I think the ceiling of 50K they have put through. So that is one of the major reasons that perhaps there is some cost discussions that have taken place, which made one drug less than 50K, and that is available.
Thank you again. Because of the time limit, we have to move on to the next speech.
Good afternoon. My name is Tai Mong Chan from Tri-Surf General Hospital.